What's up guys, welcome back, and in this video I'd like to add the option to use PayPal as payment to our application. In my last two videos we took a look at how to use PayPal using its native API or by using Braintree, so definitely check out those videos to get familiar with PayPal. I'm going to be using Braintree here just because it's a bit easier to use than the native API. Okay, first let's put our Braintree credentials in our config services. So I'm just going to go to config services here and I'm just going to paste it in here. So yeah, and make sure to add these values in your .env file, which I will do behind the scenes. Okay, so I've added that in my environment file. The next thing I want to do is go to checkout.blade.php and add a option on the UI for PayPal. So this blade file corresponds to the checkout file, which let's just put something in our cart, add to cart, and let's go to checkout, and let's just continue as guest. And this is this page, so let's just add something down here. It says pay with PayPal. Not gonna focus too much on design, just want to get the idea out there. So let's put it right underneath the form here, and let's just put a div, say, or let's put another div, and in here we can do, sorry, inside of it, let's do, move this up for you guys, pay with PayPal. All right, see how that looks. Okay, let's just put some spacing in there. I'm gonna give it a class, this one too. Just some margin top, and I'm just gonna put this class up here. So let me just end this, and let's put style MT32. Oops, that should be a class. Margin top 32 pixels. Okay. I'm sorry, there is already an end section here, so let me just do that. Okay. Okay, so that looks half decent. So we're going to use the drop-in UI here and just stick it in here. So let's just go into the example we did from the last video. So definitely check out that video if you haven't looked at it. And I have it here behind. And I'm just going to grab everything from the front end. So I'm just going to grab this. Let's see. So all of this stuff. Let's grab the form first. So everything in here. I'm just going to grab this and paste that in here. Okay, just gonna paste that in. And let me just indent this. And let's leave the action for now. We'll define that in a second. And the amount, we'll leave this for now. We'll just get it working and then we'll integrate our cart total. Okay, let's grab the JavaScript that we need. So this and all of this. Cool. And let's put that in the JavaScript. So there's already JavaScript for the Stripe client here. So let's put that underneath. So all this stuff. So it should be right here. Let's say PayPal stuff or Braintree stuff. What do you want to call it? I'll call it PayPal. Okay, let me just take this out. We're already in a script tag, so let me just remove this and remove this. And let me indent this. Cool. And let me import the Braintree stuff up here. right here. Okay. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, so payment form. I think I'm already using payment form for our Stripe form, and I am. So let's change this one, which is our Braintree form, to PayPal payment form. So let me change this to PayPal payment form. And I don't think I need this. I think I was just playing around with something with disabling the button when you submit. Yeah, you can do that, but I'm just going to leave that out for now. What else? Okay, so we need this token here, which, if you remember, we were passing in from here. So we have to do this stuff as well to generate a token on the server side. Then we want to pass it in. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to go to checkout controller. And right here in the index, we can do it in here somewhere. So I'm going to do it right here. And then I can pass in the token here. Let's call it PayPal token. Okay, let's just call it, yeah, PayPal or Braintree. I'm not sure which name to use. I'll name it PayPal. PayPal token. And let's pass that in. So PayPal. Okay. And let's make sure that we are using PayPal token here. And we have to make sure to composer require Braintree / Braintree PHP. Oops. Okay, that's done. Let's see if we did everything correctly and we're getting the Braintree form here. Braintree gateway not found. Okay. I think I just need a slash here. Cool. And there is the drop-in UI form, and it looks pretty good. Now, if this were a real app, I would seriously consider replacing what we have up here using Stripe with Braintree, since Braintree and PayPal is already integrated. And this would mean that we only have one checkout flow in our code, making it much cleaner. I'm not going to do that here since it's just an example and it would be a lot of work to rip this out and add Braintree. But yeah, like I said, I would definitely consider it if this were a real app. Okay, so here's the submit button for test transaction. Let me just add a class so it looks like this and change the name of it. So let's go to checkout. Let's look for test transaction. Let's change it to pay with PayPal, and let's change the class to button primary, and that should change it to green, I think. Okay, cool. Okay, so for the drop-in UI for Braintree, there's no way to remove the card option. That's there by default. So since we're using Stripe already, I kind of want to hide this. So let's see what we can do with that. Let me just open DevTools here and see what we can do. So let's inspect this. Maybe we can just hide it with CSS. So we have this class of Braintree option card. So let's see if we can just do something like this. Let me just clear this. Let's do lm equals document.query selector. And it's, okay, it's already there. Cool. And let's see if we can change the style. Display none. See what that does. Okay, so that works, but it sort of screwed up the top border, so I'm just going to remove it from the document completely. So let me just reload this page. So to do that in plain JavaScript, you have to grab the parent element first and then remove the child. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to remove the style here and do that. And then I'm going to do lm dot parent node dot remove child lm, and that should get rid of the card, and it still looks good with the borders intact. So we'll do that in our code. So let's go right here. I'm going to add it there. Let's say remove credit card option. And let's just do that. Document dot query selector dot Braintree option card and lm dot parent node dot remove child lm. All right, let's see if this works. I have a syntax error. Oops. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so that's good. So if I click this, it should come up. Actually, you have to click this first. Yeah, you should definitely clean up the UI. Like this button shouldn't show it until you click this, but this is okay for this demo. And you can see some validation errors here when you don't select PayPal. Okay, so that shows up. Obviously, we have to work on our backend now, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's go back into our code and let's take a look at the other example. And here we go. I'm just going to copy all of this again. And copy that. And let's go into our code. And let's go into our routes file. And let's look for our checkout controller. Okay, so here is the original one that's using Stripe. So let's just duplicate this. Let's rename it to PayPal checkout. And I'm going to use the same controller. You can definitely make yourself a new controller, and you should, because our checkout controller is getting kind of large. But I'm just going to stick it in here just because there's methods I need that live on that controller. So yeah, definitely checkout. We'll leave this checkout, and if this were real, I would spend some time refactoring it, but I'm not going to do that here. PayPal checkout, and let's name it checkout.paypal. Okay, so let's go into checkout controller, and what do I need here? I need this. So I'm going to copy this, and I'll put it right underneath, right here, and let's close it. And let's name it PayPal checkout. And I'm not going to do a checkout request. I'll just do a normal request because we don't need all that stuff, because we're just getting it from PayPal. By stuff, I mean we don't need all this stuff, because all this stuff is going to come from the PayPal account. So let me just grab this again and paste that in. And let me just re-indent. Okay, so there's obviously duplication here. There's one here, and then there's one in the index for creating the Braintree credentials. I'm just going to leave it for the sake of simplicity. So when someone comes in, they can see what's happening. But if this were a real app, I would consider extracting this to maybe a singleton in Laravel service container, so it can always just return the one instance that we need that has all the credentials we need for Braintree. Okay, so let's make sure we put a slash here. And we can leave all this. I just want to make sure it works. We can get rid of this. And yeah, let's get rid of all of this. I'm not using these errors. I'm just getting the error message, the result message here. So let's get rid of this. Don't need this. Okay, so let's see if we can get a correct transaction working from front end to back end into the Braintree back end with PayPal. Okay. PayPal checkout. I'm going to log in with my PayPal sandbox credentials. Okay. Okay, agree. Okay, cool. And I'm going to pay with PayPal. Hopefully this works. All right, I forgot to do some things. Okay, we forgot to put the action on the form. So into checkout, let's look for a form here. Let me just grab this one. This is the Stripe one, but I want something similar for our other form. So right here, let's paste that in. And I think I called it checkout.paypal. Yeah, checkout.paypal. Okay, let's try that again. So we have to go through this whole flow again. I will just fast forward for you guys. Okay, so let's pay with PayPal. And there we go, transaction successful. FVQ. Actually, this should redirect to the, we have a confirm page. So let's change that. Let's just see if this went through. So subscriptions, oh sorry, transactions. Search. So there it is right there. Cool. $10. All right, so let's change the success to what we have in, same thing as we have in the Stripe controller. So right here. And we can change it to add the transaction ID, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, so that should redirect to the confirmation page if it's successful, just like in Stripe. And this is fine. It will return with an error message if there's an error. Okay, so let's start making it dynamic with the correct information from our order. So I'm going to remove this stuff because this customer is coming from the PayPal account now. The amount is no longer going to come in from the request. So I don't need this anymore. And the amount is just going to be the same as what it is in Stripe. So right here, I'm just going to grab that, put it in here. But we have to round it. I did this before and I got errors because there was more than 2 decimal places. I'm just going to round that. 2. And I'm going to remove the amount form field on the front end. So let's look for amount. Yeah, so all of this. Don't need this. Okay, so let's give that another try, but let's see if we get the correct value passing in to our Braintree backend. So 909.98. I try this again, and I'll fast forward for you guys. And there we go. We get redirected to our confirmation page. And let's check this page again and see if we get 909.98, and we do. Cool. And there's no more customer here. Okay, so let's continue to add more stuff in our order into Braintree. So one thing I want to show you, we did it in Stripe, and that's this stuff over here. This just is a representation of what's in the cart, and this gets passed into the Stripe backend, and more specifically the contents. So it's just going through the cart contents and putting it in some sort of JSON representation of it, and it's passed into the backend. Now we can totally do that as well in Braintree. I'm not going to go through it entirely. I'll just show you how to do line items in sort of just a hard-coded fashion, and then you can do that on your own if you want. So back to Braintree stuff. Where is it? Right here. Okay. Actually, let me show you the documentation for that. So I'm just going to open it up here. And let's look for line items right here. So line items. And there are a few fields that are necessary. So kind, it's either debit or credit. And it's going to be debit because it's a sale. Name, quantity, unit amount, and total amount. So we need all those fields in the line item. So I'm just going to hard code it in to show you guys how it works. And then if you want to add the cart contents, you can do that. So line items, it's an array, and each line item is an array as well. So let's do that. I'm just going to put one in here. Let's just show you guys. So we need all those fields. Kind, it's going to be debit. Name is going to be the name of the product. And again, I'm just going to hard code it. Quantity is whatever the quantity is. Just one in our case, because we're hard coding it. Total amount, let's just say 10 in dollars, and a unit amount, say 10 as well. Now when you do this, you have to make sure that everything adds up. So all of the line items and the quantities add up to the total here. So I'm gonna just comment this out, and because if it doesn't add up, then you'll get an error. And it doesn't really say what the error is, but the error is that the line items have to add up to the amount. So in our case, everything's just $10. And let's go ahead and do another transaction here. Let's go back to our cart, checkout, guest. Okay, so let's do this again. I'm going to fast forward for you guys. Okay, pay with PayPal. And let's see if we get that $10. Yeah, you should definitely have a disabled state here while it's doing its thing. Okay, so let's check if there's a $10 amount with the line item that we specified. And if we drill down, there you go. So here are the line items. And yeah, you can definitely add the cart items in here if you want. But yeah, I'm not going to do that because that's going to take up a bit too much time. Okay, so what is next? Okay, so let's take a look at what happens when there's a successful Stripe payment, because it's going to be similar to what we have to do. Okay, so it's creating the order here, and it's using this helper method, add to orders tables. So let's look at that. What happens here? add to orders tables. Here is where it's creating the order and it's getting all the information from the request. So unfortunately, we don't have all this information. We can get the email and the name from PayPal, but this can come from PayPal as well, but it's not always there. So we have to make sure that these fields are nullable. And if you look at SQL Pro, let me just open the database. I think it's Laravel e-commerce example. And I think it's the orders table. Sorry, it's kind of small, but there's already a field here for what payment gateway we're using. So if we're using PayPal, we can just put PayPal in here. So that's good. But like I said, we have to make these fields nullable because for a PayPal payment, some of these will be null. And if it's not nullable, then it will throw an error. So let's go into database migrations. I think it's in here somewhere. Yeah, I think this one. Yeah, so let's just make all of these nullable. I'm just going to do this. So yeah, all of these. Cool. Let's make it nullable. Okay, save that. And let's also make sure in our order model, not sure what's going on here. Let's make sure that the, what's it called? The payment gateway is fillable. So after billing total, yeah, let's do that. So payment gateway. Okay. So back to our controller. Let's add another method here. And it's going to be almost the same, except it's going to be specific to PayPal. So I'm going to copy this, paste it in here, and let's call it add to orders tables PayPal. And we're just going to take the name and the email, and we're going to leave all of this null. And this one too. So let's take the name from the parameters, the email here, and let's change this to email. Let's change it to email first. Email, name, and the error. Email, name, and let's add the payment gateway of PayPal here. PayPal. And this will remain the same. Again, not the cleanest because this is duplicated, but for the sake of this demo, this should do. So let's go ahead and use this one instead. So orders, add to orders tables PayPal in here. So right here. This, and we need the email, the name, and the error in this case is going to be null. So how do we get the PayPal information? So there's actually an object on the transaction, which I will die and dump here. Oops. Transaction PayPal, I guess. So let's just die and dump that and see what kind of information we get. So again, I will fast forward this for you guys. Let me just go to checkout, guest. Let's do this again, and let's see if we get some PayPal information. Okay, so there you go. There is an array, and we just need the payer email, payer first name, and payer last name. Cool. So back to our code. Let me just remove this. And I think, yeah, let's remove this again. Like I was just showing you these line items. I'm not going to use them here. And let's change the amount back to what the correct amount is. And I'm just going to paste in some code here, and that replaces the email and the name. So we're going to save the order to what this returns. And like you just saw, transaction PayPal payer email returns the email. And this returns the name, which I just smashed together. And there's no error. And I'm going to do the same for the error case, except there is an error. It's right here. And the error is going to be this. Let's put that in there. Okay. So yeah, let's see if that works. Actually, this transaction is only within this if block, so I'm going to move this out. Sorry. Like that, and then that should do it. Okay, so let's see if this works, and then let's see if the order goes into our database. So I'm going to go back here. Just do this. And let's go back to our cart and check out. And I will fast forward this. Okay, I forgot to re-migrate my database. So let me do that. Let's just do PHP artisan e-commerce install. Let me clear my cart first, actually. This might produce an error, so let me just clear this out. All right. Yes. Okay. Okay, that was done. Let's add something else. Let's add phone 8. Add to cart. Checkout. Guest. And let's try this again. Okay, so that time it worked. Let's check our database, see if this order went in. So let's refresh. And here it is. Here is our email from PayPal. This is our test PayPal name. The rest is null. Cool. But we still have all the billing information in terms of payment. And you can see it uses PayPal here for the payment gateway. And yeah, it looks good. All right, so let's take a look at some of the other things it does after a successful payment. Let's look on Stripe. So it sends a new email, which we can do because it only relies on the order name and the order email, which we have from PayPal. It decreases the quantities, which is just a method here, which decreases the products in our cart. And it forgets any coupons that we have in the session. So we can just grab these and paste them in. And we can see if they work. So let me just paste this in. So right here, after we get the order, let's do that. And I think there's one more check. Let me just save that. Yeah, so here it checks if there's still items available to purchase before everything happens. So we can totally do this as well. Okay, so let's do this before we do everything. And if this condition does happen, then it will just return back with errors. Okay, but the main thing we're interested in testing is if an email is sent if the quantity decreases, and we don't have the coupon here, so I'm just going to assume that works. So let's check for an email, and let's check if the quantity decreases. Okay, so right now we have phone 8, and this is in our products table somewhere. So somewhere in here, phone 8. So there are 10 of them. Let's see if this goes down to 9, and let's see if we get an email. And let's see if it clears the session. Also the cart. Did I do that? Where it clears the cart. Oh, here's where it clears the cart. Yeah. And here's where it forgets the coupon. Okay, cool. So phone 8. Proceed to checkout. Guest. And again, I will fast forward this for you guys. Okay, so that went through. It looks like the cart session was destroyed, so that's good. Let's check if, we already know it went into the orders table. We just checked that. Oh, let's check if the quantity decreased to 9. So I'm going to refresh this. And there it is, 9. And let's check mail trap. Actually, my mail driver is just set to log. So let's see if it's in the Laravel log. Let me just scroll all the way down. And here it is. So an email goes out to this PayPal email. And yeah, that's just the standard email that goes out, and it has information about that one item that we ordered. And one more check. Let's just see. Let's see, 1061. So this is the order total, 1199. Let's check here. And there it is. Cool. So yeah, like I said many times through this video, there's still a lot of room for refactoring and tightening up the UI, but I think this is some good progress on our app. We now have PayPal as an option to use for payment, which is great. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.